Oh, my. We've lost Rico. We have absolutely lost Rico. For backstory, as that song played, I had no idea there was a song. I only knew that we had crafted the drop. Rico was just about to take that final sip of water before broadcast. Gone. Water's on the floor. Are you... Someone has got, you know what? I talked to TJ earlier, and it's on me. I didn't. He has got to cut his commercials a little better. It's making it too easy for us.
Oh, wow! Wasn't ready for that. Good afternoon.
Oh man, honestly, it's so good. It just sounds so natural.
Wait, at some point in there, did they say, just ask me?
Yeah, he goes, just ask Rico about it. That's so good. All right, so we'll attempt to get this show going. The one thing you're not really going to hear about today is Lions preseason football, and I don't want you guys puzzled as to why. Nothing happened. Okay, like, do you know the rules? Nobody get hurt. As long as what you don't want is a Kayvon Thibodeau injury scare situation. Now, if something, God forbid, if something bad happened to a brand name player on this team, we talk about it.
Yeah, I thought about you with the Thibodeau thing. I was like, oh, wow. Real Peppers. Wait, he's not there.
So the point.
I saw your whole season go up in smoke.
Oh, I know. I'm prepared for it, but I actually wanted to do something different. I had just asked Doug and Scott something off the air, and it was like a bonus topic. But I want to move this right to the front of the line, and I want to just dive in on this. I just saw a set of bowl projections, and it's asinine to project bowl games now. It really is. But I thought the projections for our teams locally were fascinating because I think I could spin it positively for both or negatively. And I asked Doug the projection for Michigan. And I didn't tell him why. I said, Doug, if you could lock in the Rose Bowl right now against the mighty Utes of Utah, would you do it? And Doug paused, and he's like, no. I'd take my chances. He thinks they can beat OSU. Okay, totally fine, respectable. Gator was following him. I said, Scotty, I said, right now, would you lock in the Citrus Bowl versus Arkansas? And in my mind, that means you went 9-3. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And Gator thought about it for a second. He goes, no, I'll roll the dice. I'll see what happens. And it was interesting because I was on the other side of it, where I'm like, if I'm a Michigan fan, I'm locking in. I mean, going to the Rose Bowl, New Year's Six Bowl, probably means you lost one game. You know the odds are stacked against you to beat OSU back-to-back seasons, specifically down in the shoe. And if you're an MSU fan, I think it's all about maintaining momentum. I don't have any delusions of grandeur of this team winning the Big Ten this season. I think it's about, can they sustain momentum after a shocking year last year, winning 11 games? You go 9-3 with a chance to notch a 10th win, keep the momentum going, let Mel Tucker really start building. I probably would lock that in. But it was interesting. They both said no. So I said, okay, now I want to bring this to Rico.
You know what?
TJ?
I would probably say no. I would say no for both accounts, Mike.
You would say no.
I would. Here's why. If you're Michigan, yeah.
Roll the dice.
The way your schedule sets up,
Michigan's floor seems to be a lot higher than MSU's.
Right, but I'm saying, worst case scenario, you're going to still end up in the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
But if I don't lock this in, there's a chance that I'm out playing in the desert or out playing in Atlanta for the playoffs again. So if I'm Michigan, there's no way I'm going to lock this in.
All right, so Michigan in your mind, totally off the board. It's a ridiculous question by your radio partner.
And
Michigan State.
It's a thought-provoking question, Mike. Not ridiculous. Big difference. I thought you were about to. Okay.
No, every time I just turn this way, it doesn't mean I'm going to do this.
PTSD. But I do think, and like for MSU, yeah, I would probably roll the dice again. Because think about it. If you would have locked in both Michigan and Michigan State last season, you would have undersold both teams.
And that's why. See, all right, let me throw the number out. 248-539-9797. This plays for both fan bases, and it's something, Rico, the fact that they both grossly overachieved last year is why I have a hard time believing they're both going to do it again. Now, so for me, look, I still think MSU's variance is all over the place. And I've given my reasons. We did our topic, which I'm sure is on the YouTube channel. Your biggest fear for each team. I think MSU's anywhere from 6 wins to 10 wins. I think it's a wide variance. And for Michigan, I think it's a smaller window because I think their schedule is a complete joke. But I think they're anywhere between 10 and 12. I just don't see a situation where Michigan loses all 3 games against actual opponents. Iowa, Michigan State, OSU. No, Penn State's not beating you at your house. They never do. So I kind of, for Michigan State, yeah, I would lock in. Now, if you're telling me it's 8-4, no, I might roll the dice. But 9-3 to go to the Citrus Bowl, I think I would.
But there's 9-3, Mike, but that also leads to, once again, maybe you flip one of those 50-50 games and you're now 10-2 with a shot at another New Year's Six bowl. I wouldn't lock in for either one because both teams showed me last year, don't put them in the corner. Don't try to box them in to something because they both exceeded it. I know. I understand why you do this because you're the king of hedging.
Oh, yeah.
And in your mind, I had too much success last year, got to hedge that bet. And I'm the king. You know what? Just keep going.
Well, I just think listen, I mean, for Michigan, I understand if fans say no. I think Michigan fans have a right to believe they could make the playoff again. I'm not offended by that. I don't have a problem with that. I think their offense is loaded. I think they get the benefit of playing basically a 4-week intramural league and get themselves ready to roll. I think for State, the questions are different, and I think the programs are different places. Remember, everyone views it like all of a sudden, Tuck coming and MSU and 11 wins, and it's like, guys,
I think it's the opposite, Mike. I think most people look at MSU and say, last year was an aberration. You got lucky. There's no way you're ever going to reach that again.
Well, then that would be
you better be happy.
Reason to lock in.
I'm like, you know what? Until he shows me differently,
you're going to buy in.
I'm going to buy in because here's the thing. It comes down, if you take away, even for both squads, Ohio State, set that aside.
Right.
Then for Michigan State, it comes down to Michigan and probably the Wisconsin game and maybe Penn State. Those 3 games. Can you win one of those 3? And chances are you're looking at 10-2. So, yeah, and it's like, well, you can't beat he's beaten Michigan twice. Yeah. So I don't understand that logic either. So I get what you're saying. Nah, I would roll the dice. And if you're Michigan with that schedule,
okay. And again, if you want to look at the complete bowl projections, because we're all starving for college football, which does lightly begin this Saturday. You can see it, Action Network. Brett McMurphy had it up there. And I thought it was interesting. 248-539-9797, because I probably would lock in both. I mean, the reality is I don't give Michigan a great chance to beat OSU until or unless, we talked about this last week, if OSU's defense looks terrible again, everything I've just said is off the board. They can absolutely beat them. I think Michigan has the ability to go 11-1, 12-0.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were the savant last year when you picked Michigan to beat Ohio State. But I would say this, Mike. Remember last year at this time, because I was watching the game over the weekend because I was bored.
What game?
Michigan State, Miami. And it was like, De'Aaron King is going to just take Michigan State to Pound Town. A funny thing happened. They ended his career. They ended the Miami turnover chain. They did a lot of stuff.
My boy Drew Beasley blindsided him, took his shoulder and beat him with it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Drew Beasley hit him off the edge, and Panashuk scooped up the fumble.
You just hate
and that was his career.
Yeah.
Right there.
And that was the game Chuck Brantley got thrown out of, right? He was out there
killing people. That was one of the games, yes.
Yeah. Someone needs to tell Chuck you can't spear people. It's not 1987.
Well, he was fired up. He was back home in Florida. helmet to helmet.
But there were multiple hits where you're like,
he's
this kid is
walking.
going to get himself killed or he's going to kill somebody.
Oh, no, he's a walking 15-yard penalty, get tossed out of the game. But
He was out there thinking it was a taping of Gladiator.
he was.
Just killing people. But no, I just wanted to see where people were at with it because, hey, if you think it's a weak sauce take to lock in, I get it. I'm willing to be made fun of. But, man, if we fast forwarded, like, who would really be upset about a Rose Bowl for U of M? I don't think you could be upset. If you're a Michigan State fan, could you really be upset with a Citrus Bowl?
See, here's Mike, you can't.
And I'll tell you about it next.
And I'll tell you next.
I knew